Welcome to the Scariest Things podcast, your gateway to the trends and tropes of the horror genre. This is episode 155, a continuation of our top 100, where we're going to look at films 40 through 21. I'm your host, Liz Williams, and I am joined by
Mike Campbell
and Eric Lee,
and very special guest,
Ian Parker.
And so we're getting to our undeniable classics at this point. Almost undeniable. We'll see if any hot takes come out and we decide to bag on any of our top 40.
It's top 40. Who's got a Casey Kasem for the top 40? Eric?
American Top 40. Hi, I'm Casey Kasem.
That's not too bad.
So just as a reminder to everybody, what these are is the favorite films, not necessarily the best films. And this was determined by way of actually canvassing pretty much anybody we knew who had any kind of legitimate say in the industry. Those who we knew and who were also willing to actually participate with us, which was
A
72.
lot.
72,
Yeah.
is that right,
Mhm.
Ian? So this is also a reconstituted list compared to the list that we did back in 2018, where we had, I think, 31 participants.
Yeah.
And this time around, we have a lot more industry players, directors, actors, film festival coordinators. So it's a vetted list.
vetted.
Yes.
What does that mean?
That means that means it's
That sounds ominous.
There's quality control in here, my man.
Oh,
This
okay,
is
okay. Interesting. So the Toxic Avenger definitely didn't make it then.
Well, we
If
still
there-
got 40 to go.
If there's quality
Yep,
control
there's
in
time.
place.
Yeah, there's some things. Zombievers, you still have a chance.
Yes. Well, so what has been your biggest? What's been the biggest shocker you've heard or so far now that we're 60 films into the top 100 list? Eric.
Yeah, put me on the spot, will you?
Sure. All right, Liz.
I know. I was like, thank God he went to Eric first, because I don't know.
I'm still surprised
That
that
the Lost Boys was so low.
I'm surprised that Hellraiser 2 made the list. That's a shocker for me.
That was a stunner. I think Friday the 13th Part 6's position on this list
Yeah.
was surprising that it was higher than Friday the 13th.
Right. The original.
The original. That was a mild surprise.
I'm still shocked that with 100% more voters, we still saw Monster Squad on the list.
Oh, yeah.
It's a sentimental pick.
I know, but you would have thought
that one. It's nostalgia.
I know, but I would have thought for sure it would have slid off the list, like way off the list.
It was new to the list, wasn't it? Was it
No,
new to the list?
no.
It was on the list previously. Okay.
Yeah.
And I think some of that may be some legacy votes from we had, because I think that we do. There are some folks who really put in a lot of gateway films.
Sure.
Because either that we had. I know one of our voters, Kean Dowdy, was a teenage boy.
Yep.
And so he had, but he was also a filmmaker.
Right.
So congratulations, you get his vote counts as much as anybody else, and the stuff that he likes is.
Yep.
I think still carries some weight, and there's some folks who, I think Marnie, who has a much milder taste in horror movies and actually likes to watch it with her kids.
Yep.
I think has a certain sensibility of more gateway type films.
Right.
So I think that's why you end up with.
So that's
something
why
like
Monster Squad.
Yeah.
All right.
Not only was Monster Squad on the list before, it's one of 5 films that kept their exact same rank as in 2018.
Yeah.
Which is stunning. Which meant that
that's why I'm saying that's why it's so shocking.
But there are new voters who are coming in and putting it on their list,
which is also shocking.
Still got there.
Because it's like eventually we will do a synopsis after we're all said and done, because we told how many films were that received any votes at all.
Oh boy, we had 516.
So that's the stunning part is that Monster Squad beat out 400.
That's why I say
480 some odd films.
But
to make the list.
let's continue to be stunned, starting with number 40.
Ooh, all right. This one's new to the list.
Whoa, is this the highest entry on the?
No, there's another movie that'll be new to the list
For
coming
newbies?
up. Yeah.
Wow.
Okay.
But I gotta say, everyone on this podcast was stunned that this movie did not make the 2018 list.
Oh, I think I know what it is.
In your recap last time, you said surely this was on the list. It wasn't. Mike?
The Conjuring.
The Conjuring.
Oh.
Yes, I knew it. I knew it.
Coming in at number 40.
I was going to say Carrie, but have we mentioned Carrie in on the list?
We have mentioned Carrie.
Okay.
Yeah. I knew it was The Conjuring, and in fact, after The Conjuring 3 came out this last year, I went back and rewatched The Conjuring, and it scared the living daylights out of me. And it was like the third time I had seen it, and I was still scared as hell watching it during the day. And I went back and looked at my list, and I said, surely I put The Conjuring on my list. I did not put The Conjuring on my list. And it is, I think, one of the scariest films you will find in the modern era. And it's certainly, I think, the scariest big budget film you will have found in many, many a moon.
It did it without gore.
And it did it without gore.
That's why.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I-
But I will note, Mike, you did put it on your list this time.
Yeah.
It's your number,
Oh, yeah.
It's your number 13.
That's right.
I think it was remorse on Mike's part that
It was
he's like
remorse.
that there are a couple of movies that Mike had lamented that he did not support certain films adequately enough. I think Friday the 13th was one, and Conjuring would be another one.
Was another, and I decided that Last House on the Left was a little too rough and probably needed to get off the list.
Right, and we haven't seen it yet. I'm not sure that we will again. I remember when The Conjuring came out, and Mike Hype Man Campbell was going, this is supposed to be really scary, like the scariest thing that's been done in ages. And I was like, really? Come on. And then I read that it was rated R, but there was no sex,
right?
No gore,
right?
And mild with the language, but it was R for intensity of subject material.
Yeah.
And it was like, no kidding. Yeah, it did not. Rewatch The Conjuring. It's rated R, and I dare you to point out that to find something in there that would under ordinary circumstances would not have bumped it down to PG-13, other than just if you're under 18, it's probably too that it requires some counseling and supervision because it is that intense, and all to the point where it's
Poltergeist is PG, people. Kids these days are just.
Well, and Jaws is PG. Was
it really?
Invasion of the Body Snatchers is PG. But and
I really like The Conjuring, but do not find it scary. No.
What?
No,
not at all. You don't.
Just the jump scare.
Oh no! I thought that the dread was wonderful. I thought
my gosh, yeah.
And that soul. This was James Wan.
Yeah.
Showing out. This was.
I
think this was. He had a bit of a prove it moment after Saw, to show that he could pull the rabbit out of the hat with something different, and. He showed that he has a real understanding of how to build a good scary story. I think this was in addition to just because I think he came under some criticism with Saw that it's a freak show, right? Mm-hmm. And this time it's like, oh no, I can do this without my gory sideshow stuff, and it worked. I think helps that you had a great cast.
Yeah, I mean, I was going to say, yeah, this is really I think the result of sort of obviously big budget, the fact that you got really solid actors. I mean, Patrick Wilkinson and Via Farmiga, but then Ron Livingston is great, and it's such a far cry, obviously, from Office Space, and Lily Taylor is really wonderful as the mother. In fact,
she's wonderful.
I think we put her on or I did One of us did.
Horror moms.
Best horror moms. Yeah,
Yeah.
because she's just such a wonderful, loving, caring person. And that's where you get a lot of the draw of the sort of the emotional ennui and dread from this film is like the push and pull that she has with the demon and her children is really incredible. I think it's a great film. I think really it is still one of the scariest films in the modern era for me.
Yeah, Eric's rule number one: do I care about the protagonist and what happens to him?
Absolutely, you absolutely do. Really, really do. I think, yeah. I will say even last year's Conjuring 3, although a little bit. A little bit too Hollywood, still for me held a lot of really great scares. In fact, we talked about the
great opening sequence.
The great opening sequence from Conjuring 3. I put it on my top 10 list of the year. We'll see if there's any more Conjurings coming down our way. I know the Nun 2 is. I know the Nun 2 is headed our way in 2023. I think so.
Yeah. Well,
Really?
Not
Yeah.
the fact that we haven't gotten an Amityville version out of this.
Right. I think that's
this
coming.
Want it or
it's
not,
coming.
it's I think it's been well established here. I think
good.
it would be a mistake not to do a Warren story without actually touching on the Amityville horror.
Right. Yep.
So I would expect that I would hope that we'll see an announcement somewhere in the next 5 years.
Yeah.
That we'll get something. I no, that's just me. That's just me spitwadding and playing. It's like movie producer going, we got to get out there as a new Amityville horror by James Wan.
Eric Lee from the Scariest Things podcast says this would benefit our bottom line.
That's right. It's like everybody knows the Amityville horror. Come on, folks.
All right, moving on to
Number 39.
Yes.
Was number 59 last time. It moves up 20 spots.
Ooh, big riser.
Oh, yeah. This one was featured on the Scariest Things Horror Movie or Not episode. 1986 film, Aliens.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Action. Top 5 action movie of all time, without a doubt. One of the probably a top 5 science fiction movie of all time. A horror movie or not.
Top 5 Paul Reiser movie of all time. For sure.
Absolutely.
Top 5 Lance Henriksen movie of all time. Top 5 Sigourney Weaver movie of all time. Top 5 Michael Biehn movie. I mean, it's like, this was a high watermark for a lot of people, and I think it is relative to the emotions that you go through watching this thing. Well, I saw it I saw it in theaters. This was the first R-rated movie that actually I was able to not sneak into. I saw it as soon as I turned. I was like, because it came out in '87, so I was 17. I got a chance to go catch this in the theaters, and I had hand cramps because I was gripping the seats.
Oh yeah,
so hard because it was a roller coaster.
The scene where Newt and Ripley are stuck in the lab and the thing is like obviously
the face hugger and
the face hugger is like flying all over the lab. Ripley is banging the chair against the soundproof glass, and then Paul Reiser walks over and turns the monitor off. It's just like, wow, that is so intense, and you really feel for both Ripley and Newt, and you realize they're not getting out of here. They are absolutely not getting out of here. Of course, they do. Spoiler alert.
Your thoughts, it was like, motherfucker. I can't believe you did that. It's like, but then it was like, you get the smart thinking.
Right.
Throw the fire alarm.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
The opening firefight sequence in the reactor. Every science fiction action movie has tried to duplicate that and can't touch it.
Yep.
Probably the closest thing to it that I can think of is Dog Soldiers.
Sure.
But relative to frenetic, confusing.
Yeah.
It goes from hubris to panic.
Right.
And the music of James Horner.
Yeah.
Wow. There's like that military march and the look, James Cameron.
creepy Paul Reiser.
Creepy Paul Reiser. Yeah.
Paul Reiser does eventually make amends in Stranger Things
Yes,
season
he does.
4.
And I think, but he even,
Yeah.
I think doesn't he gets fourth wall referential about Alien.
Right.
Doesn't he?
Yeah.
So yeah, I it is one of my favorite movies of all time. I do.
Was it on your list?
No.
Okay.
Because Alien is on my list.
Sure.
Aliens.
Yeah.
Because I think it falls squarely in horror movie or not.
Liz, was it on your list?
No.
Okay.
This is not a Liz type of movie.
Was
No.
just out of curiosity, do you remember which side of the horror movie or not fence you were on?
Probably the not.
Yeah.
You were on the
Although
knot. Were you on the knot as well?
I think
so.
I said yes, but
Okay.
barely.
Ian, where are you at?
Oh, firmly in the yes.
Oh, firmly. Okay, so we
Yes.
have a yes, a maybe, or maybe 2 yeses, a no, and I am kind of on the fence too.
I think as a blend, I think it's 75% science fiction,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
or it's more like 50% action, 25% science fiction, 25% horror. Because
Okay.
I think that the alien queen represented up here on
Yeah.
our
Heck yeah.
Mount
on
Rush
Mount
Horror.
Rush Horror is
Yeah.
still one of the most iconic monsters ever to show up on the screen.
For sure.
Because because you hear about it, and then when you see it, it's a jaw dropper, and it
Thank
was
you.
practical.
Thank you, HR Giger.
Yeah,
All
Nightmare
right.
Fuel.
Let's move on.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Our next film, number 38, last time was number 38. It's one of the 5 movies that did not change spots.
Ooh.
One Mike Campbell of The Scariest Things once called this, succinctly, a very solid film.
Man,
It's
killing it
superlatives
with the
again.
superlatives.
It's
killing it.
Eric Lee's number 17 movie. It's The Babadook.
Oh.
Yeah, I love me some Babadook. I think this is one of the golden children of the new golden age of horror. I think it's because it is character driven. It is it's all about the story and the conditions and the characters. And the freaky little boy.
Mm-hmm.
And this was a bit of, I think, almost it had to be intentional that you fear the kid is so freaky and weird,
Right.
that you think that he's going to be the center of it, and he's not. But it's a nice sort of trying to set up the expectations. This was
it's the fear. It's the parents' fear that they are going to have that kid who is that freaky weird kid who doesn't fit in with the rest of the kids.
Well,
that's where you get that's a lot of
Right.
the anxiety of the film is that you're like, oh crap, I have that kid.
Yeah.
That's the weird kid that nobody wants to hang around with.
right, but it's also parental, the parental psychoses of, losing her husband
Right.
in the car crash
Right.
when she's giving birth to the freaky kid.
Spoiler alert.
That's not a spoiler. It's like that's the whole. Those are the opening conditions of the film.
Sure.
Right?
Sure.
And that's the part of coming to terms with grief, coming to terms with family issues,
Right.
like dysfunctional families. This
Right.
is it, and plus the illustrations of the Babadook.
Yeah.
That you can get a Babadook book. But it's like, if good luck finding one. I think you spend $1,000 to get one.
What?
They made a limited run. They made like 150 of them.
Oh my God.
And
Wow.
and so now every now and then they'll show up on eBay
Okay.
for a
I
mint.
know what you're not getting for Christmas.
Yomi, come on. But as that pop-up book when it opens up and the Babadook jumps out of the book.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. And
Yeah.
I do think though that when you think of what the mother could do, it's like, honey, you maybe get some pastels.
Yeah.
And paint your house other than something that's pea soup green and gray.
Yeah. It's a very dark film. I mean, purposefully so, though. And it really sets the tone. It sets the tone very, very well.
It makes Melbourne look like Glasgow.
Right. Yeah.
It's like, come on, you're in one of the sunniest cities in the world.
Liz, where are you at with the Babadook?
I was just gonna ask Eric, since it's on his list, if you've rewatched it, because I tried to rewatch it to remember what was so great about it, and I couldn't do it.
Oh,
I think it's a one and done.
Oh, I have, but I because we rented it.
You mean
a long time ago.
You mean like Sixth Sense? It's like once you know the
kind of like once you know
it,
there's no. Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's good. It's not even in my top 100 though.
Okay.
I liked it though.
All right, let's move on.
That's okay. Lost Boys isn't in my top 100.
Was it I know. A Netflix original also? Wasn't that when they were like churning out some really good stuff? It wasn't? It was in theaters?
It predated that. This because I think at the time that this was released, Netflix was still order a DVD and send it back to us.
What is this?
Are you sure?
This is 2014.
2014. No, it may have been. It would have been after that. But no, it wasn't original for. It was a theatrical release.
All right. Number 37 moves up 19 spots.
Heck yeah.
This made the Scariest Things police procedural horror episode where one Eric Lee said,
I know.
This is David Fincher showing off. It's Liz's number 16 film.
Oh, yeah.
7.
Yeah.
Yep.
Although this also ended up in our horror movie or not list.
Yeah.
Because it is first and foremost a
serial
police
killer.
procedural.
Yeah.
But it has, stylistically, this is closer to a horror movie than most thrillers, I think.
Sure. It's on the edge, yeah. Probably points more to horror.
Mm-hmm. Well, Liz, what do you think?
I think it's a horror movie just because of once you have a severed head in a box, you get to go horror.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert. Okay, everybody knows what's in the box.
What's in the box?
What's in the box? Yeah. Yeah.
Why does this one
knows.
stick out for you, Liz? I mean, it's number 16 on your
Oh,
list.
man. This is another one I remember seeing in the theater. Brad Pitt, Morgan Freeman, like Kevin Spacey, these performances. It's David Fincher. It's so dark.
Mm-hmm.
I like serial killer movies. I like police procedurals. I like them dark as can be. And this one fits the bill. But like Silence of the Lambs, this one was like a prestigious film that non-horror fans were looking at saying like, oh no, this is good stuff.
Yeah.
So I guess you have to have that psychological thriller label to be a horror movie that it's accepted.
As they peek through their fingers watching the screen, kind of a thing. I remember seeing this. I saw this on my birthday, this was in Eugene.
Yeah.
And I had a group of friends who went. It's like, what do you want to do for your business? I want to see 7.
Yeah.
Like, all right. And afterwards, I was like, God, why did you want to see that? You took me to this was, oh man! I was like, that was so good. Good.
I think it really threw people for a loop when it came out too, because there was really nothing a lot like it prior, and there's really not been anything
Zodiac
like it
would come
since.
close, I think.
Yeah,
Zodiac's so good.
And I think it really threw people for a loop when it came out, and I don't think they were expecting it. I think they were expecting Pretty Boy Brad Pitt and something a little bit more casual than what it ultimately ended up being. Although I still go back, and when you were just talking about the Babadook with regard to it made it look like Melbourne look like Glasgow. It's funny with this in that it's rain and dreary the whole film, and then all of a sudden they're in
it's Los Angeles.
The fields,
they're in the desert.
No, I thought.
I think it's supposed to be Chicago because they have the L train.
Right.
They live by the train.
Right.
Yeah, but
it's really
but then
awesome.
they go out and they drive out, and then they're in the
Chicago is the Midwest.
But there's no
desert.
The mountains that
It
they
wasn't
drive
a desert.
past.
It was like a field with power lines.
I thought there was, but I could have sworn there was like
wasn't
you
a
could
desert.
see the
No, it looks like Joshua Tree.
yeah.
I thought it was just like a grassy
the hills
field
in the background, like
with dead grass.
All right, we'll get back to you on
But-
that one. Let's move on. Let's move on to the next.
It very much did feel like it was shot in Chicago, and I thought this went a long ways to actually legitimize Brad Pitt as a real serious actor.
Oh yeah, for real.
Other than just I mean, he'd been doing some good work, but this was him playing the rookie.
It's not a desert.
Yeah.
I'm looking at a picture of it.
Okay.
It is a grassy field.
Could be Iowa somewhere.
All right. Number 36 did make the Scariest Things top sci-fi horror episode.
Ooh.
And during that episode, one Mike Campbell said, "If this doesn't scare you, you're already dead."
That's better.
Now there's a better superlative.
That's better.
Yeah.
It's 1979's Phantasm.
Oh wow! So where was this before? What position did this occupy?
It
before?
was number 65 before, so it moves up
Big
29
jump.
spots.
Wow, that's a big and very surprising jump. I was not even sure Phantasm was going to make the list this time out.
Don Coscarelli.
Yeah.
Good on you. This is weird shit. Is what
For
Phantasm
sure.
is.
Yeah.
Mike's number 18 film.
Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah, a great film, and it is amazing to think too, because I know Angus Scrimm doesn't get talked about in the same reverence as like Pennywise or Hellraiser or Chucky or anything like that, but the tall man is pretty darn iconic in the world of horror, and this was, I think, that great transitional period in horror too, from the late 70s into the early 80s, where it was sort of a little bit of anything goes, and I think obviously John Carpenter set the stage for a lot of that, and Don Coscarelli had a very clear vision and decided, well, if anything goes, anything really goes.
It was an acid infused vision. Phantasm was great. It's such a mishmash of weird ideas. You figure that it's just going to be something simple, like there's like zombies in a graveyard kind of a thing, or that there's the tall man's doing something, looks like he's a mad scientist of some sort. But it's all
has nothing.
You
to
would
do.
not. Just try to predict what's going to happen in this movie. I think one of the reasons why that maybe the tall man doesn't get the benefit of the doubt that some of the other horror icons do is he gets overshadowed by the killer sphere.
Yeah.
I think people recognize that silver ball with the blades more than they recognize
Angus Scrimm.
Yeah. Well, and I think the other thing that's great about the film too is it really draws on Eric, your number one rule, which is you really do care about Jody and Mike, who are the main the
brothers,
the brothers in the film, and you're really kind of invested in their relationship and the fact that they it's really just the two of them, and they're trying to figure out the mystery of the third dimension amongst themselves with their sidekick Reggie Bannister.
Yes, I was gonna say, that's like you don't forget the guy who actually has been in all of the Phantasm movies.
Yeah.
Right?
I think
I was going to say, Mike, what about all the sequels? Are you fans of those? Have you seen those?
Yeah, I have seen. I've
four?
seen them all. Yeah, I've seen them all. I saw Ravager and I saw the second one. Yeah, they're they get less and less.
Oh yeah, 2016. So that's
great.
recent.
I know.
Yeah.
They're not all great, but they're still fun, and they're still an enjoyable watch. And if you like Phantasm, then you'll like the sequels.
Yep. No, that's it's fun. I mean,
Right.
they are. It didn't take itself too seriously, but seriously enough, right? It was that, and I think Carpenter-esque, I think, would be a good way to describe it.
Yeah.
In the same way that something like They Live.
Yep.
Or sort of operating in that kind of milieu. I think it's
for sure.
Fantastic.
For sure.
Fun.
All right. Number 35 has been talked about on the Scariest Things quite a few times, but it took
Halloween
the
Kills.
podcast. But it took the podcast hosts a long time, some of them, to get around seeing it. But as of a couple weeks ago, all three have seen it.
All right, I know what this is then.
It's Liz's number one movie, Martyrs from 2008.
Oh.
Nice.
Now where did this? Where was it? Was this on the list?
It was 26 last time,
26,
so it falls
okay.
9 spots.
Yeah, okay.
That's pretty.
All right.
I think this
It's a drop.
Well, I think one of the reasons why I dropped, I think it had been Was it also? I think the last time
It
I
was
think
mine
Sharon's,
and someone
I
else's
think it was
list.
Sharon's number one the last time. And Sharon
No,
wasn't
it
that
was
Sharon?
someone. Did we have an Italian?
Luca
Gentleman?
Pincelli might have
Yeah,
been.
yeah,
might have been,
Luca. Yeah,
So
it was his.
So yeah, and I don't and Luca. I don't think Luca submitted this time around, but he would have been grandfathered in. So
Legacy.
Yeah.
like he would have been
Yeah.
legacy. So
Yeah.
Martyrs, but it is a tough watch. It's a fantastic movie, but yeah, Liz, talk about it. This is your baby.
Not tough watch for me. This is a wild ride. It's bloody, gory, shocking, and has one hell of a 180 twist smack dab in the middle of the film. I love this movie. I could watch it tons of times and get something new out of it every time. I have not seen the American remake. Will not ever see the American remake. And that's it. I love it. I mean, it's a perfect horror movie to me. Everything I want.
You know, the thing I like most about Martyrs is that it is a great film, but it introduced me to all of his other work, which I really have come
Pascal
to love.
Augier.
And so, because I hadn't seen
Yeah.
any of his other stuff until I saw Martyrs, and then I went and watched, Brotherhood of the Wolf and Incident at Ghostland and The Tall Man, and yeah,
he did Brother of
Saint
the Wolf.
Ange.
Yeah,
he
yeah.
was the cinematographer on it, and he was also in the
I
movie.
could definitely
Yeah.
see that
Yeah,
because
yeah.
I was like, the writing wasn't good enough to be Laugier
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
Brotherhood
yeah.
of the Wolf, but it looked sumptuous.
Yeah, but I've gone back I've gone and watched all of his other stuff, and I really like all of it. It's just fascinating, and it's in a very different
He definitely
world than
has
a lot of horror.
a niche where he is going. All of his movies are going to have a twist, something that not a Shyamalan type twist, but really the movie pivots and turns into another story. And in all of his movies, all four. And I have Incident in a Ghostland on my list also at number 21.
All right, yeah.
Another film that I love.
Yeah, I think
So.
Martyrs. I think relative, and when I say tough watch, I think that there are plenty of movies that are gory.
It is for
I think it's intense. I think it doesn't provide, the first half an hour doesn't provide a lot of answers to why things are happening. By the time you get all the puzzle pieces attached, it's brilliant. But
it definitely would be a hard watch. I mean, I get that it's not a nice movie. It's mean. It's but
two just astounding leading
It's
young
extreme.
leading ladies.
Yep. All right, we've talked about this plenty. Let's move on.
We just talked about it
Yes.
for
We
French,
sure
French
did.
horror.
Yeah.
All right.
French horror.
Number 34. Brand new to the list.
Ooh, whoa, big jump.
This was part of Liz Williams' personal movie horoscope.
Oh.
And on that episode, she said, "This is a gonzo, crazy, what the hell movie."
What?
This is
I know what it
Hausu
is.
from
Oh,
1977.
no way.
Wow.
Holy moly, Hausu all the way. Okay.
That is a
It wasn't
massive,
on our list before.
That is
Nope.
a massive jump.
Holy
I mean, I think
cats.
we also talked about Hausu
Yeah.
in the context of we did the oddball and one-off.
Weirdo horror.
Yeah, weirdo horror. Wow.
The floating heads biting butts.
What are all their names? Gorgeous. What are their names? Oh my
Right.
gosh.
Doc,
Oh.
sleepy,
Yeah.
grumpy.
And one of
Slicey.
the best movie posters out there, just for sort of psychedelic. I actually had a COVID mask with the Hausu face on it. It's so people would always and it is super recognizable when you wear. That was one of the fun things actually when you had to wear a mask all the time, and people go, "Oh, I love that movie."
having that mask.
Yeah,
Well, I think
Yeah.
since they did
It's
they did a Criterion release.
Gorgeous, Prof, Melody, Kung Fu, Mac, Sweet, and Fantasy. That's her. Gorgeous and her friends. Yeah.
That sounds about right. Yeah, but since they did a Criterion release of this a couple years ago, I think it's obviously it used to be a little bit more of a stretch to be able to find it. I mean, the first time I saw it, I think was in the 90s, and I got it on a a janky VHS copy of it. But now you can actually, it's I think a lot easier to see in it. So I think it's entered into the world of horror in a lot different way. Plus, again, as you said, Liz, there is nothing like it ever before or ever since. You will not find anything.
No one's
like
going to
this
try
film.
and do Hausu, an American remake of that. It's just it's too
so
out there.
It's so bizarre. Yeah.
Right.
I feel like that would almost be hilarious, though.
Hausu. That's crazy. All right.
They could have better
that's
special
a
effects
shocker.
on the girl gets eaten by the mattress.
Yeah,
Inspiration
but
for
still,
Johnny
you get
Depp and his waterbed.
Yeah. The top five inanimate object horror moments. A killer sofa would be, I think, would be a good,
And one of them
good-
gets
good
killed by
co-watch
the clock, I think, too.
And
she gets stuck in the clock.
The watermelon
yeah,
too.
it's such a good movie. It's so crazy. Yeah.
and so forever imprinted
Bizarre.
on Liz because of your horoscope. Horoscope.
Yep. 1977.
19, I was about to say 1933. Number 33 on the top 100 is the biggest jumper on the list.
Oh,
Last time
we're
around,
there.
it was number 73.
Okay.
And now it's 33. It's Train to
Wow.
Busan.
Hey!
Wow.
All right, Asian movies going back to back. Train to Busan, one of the great zombie movies of all time.
Huh. That's a huge
Yeah.
jump.
It's
That is
good.
a huge
Why
jump.
do you guys think it jumped so much in the last
I think
few
a lot
years?
more people have seen it. I think it's a word of mouth hit, right? I think a lot of it didn't get the benefit, let's say, of Squid Game, where it hit everywhere all at once. But it's a
Isn't there a sequel out now, too?
There is.
Peninsula.
I reviewed it for the Scariest Things podcast, scariestthings.com 1T. Check it out. Sequel is actually pretty solid. At least it has a really great conceit.
What's it called?
It is called Peninsula. It falls prey to a lot of sort of Asian films, and certainly like Train to Busan, where it has a very melancholy sort of mopey ending.
it's got a weepy ending. I mean, there are
Yeah,
people. Yeah, I know a lot of people said they just.
Oh, I cried in the ending of
Yeah.
Train to Busan.
Yeah. But well, we're not talking about Peninsula, but Peninsula is very good. Train to Busan is
Oh.
also very good.
Yeah.
Also very, very, very good. And
Yes.
I think it took, a dead and dying, pun intended, zombie genre and did definitely breathe some different
undead.
Yes, some
undeadness to
new
it.
life into it. Yeah, because at that point in time when this came out in 2008,
16.
16. Oh my gosh, 16. Really? Yeah. We were on the back end of the zombie infestation, and I think people were kind of done with zombies at that point. And so when it came out, it was a real pleasant surprise.
Yeah, I think you can track the rise and fall of the zombie genre relative to people's opinion of The Walking Dead.
Yeah, for sure.
Right.
For sure.
And as soon as that one sort of jumped the shark, people started turning away from, or it was, I think it was just oversaturated, but
Right.
but this
Yeah.
one had importantly, the father daughter relationship fraught,
Yep.
kind of like the father trying to redeem himself for not being a good dad, for being and the fear of losing, it's like the world collapsing, and then all these other really interesting, colorful characters who you meet on the train, including one of the biggest assholes you will ever meet in horror, and Don Lee, who's the tough guy. Love that. Loved a lot of the characters in Train to Busan.
All right, moving on to
Number 32, which was number 30 last time around. So
Okay.
Not
not the
bad.
same spot. This made the Scariest Things list of best horror movie openings.
Oh.
Is this 28 days later?
It is not.
Oh.
It's a 2014 film, It Follows.
Oh, yeah.
For sure.
As far as openers, yeah.
Oh my God, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. For sure. One of the best openers of all time. In fact, the new Shudder original series, Top 101
Yep.
Horror Movie Moments, opens with this as well. And if you watch, you can watch the opening scene, and if the opening scene doesn't grab you, then nothing will.
Well, or then the old lady walking across the school courtyard will get you.
Yeah.
It's like,
There's
how does
so many
old lady, just like scary old lady in a nightgown, just slowly shuffling towards you. But you know what it means. I think the great thing is that they just have these incongruous moments where ordinarily it doesn't seem too scary, but they're just sort of, it's relentlessly tracking you.
Yep.
The thing. It's like, well, it's in the title.
Yep.
It follows.
Yeah.
And just this was have we run into Don't Breathe on the list?
We've not.
No. Not.
Similar kind of there were a bunch of movies that came out around this period that sort of gave a rebirth to sort of teenagers in peril, but doing it better than they did it in the 80s because they actually invested in a good script and a better premise than just some, maniac going around, coming to get you. I mean, because I think that's where the 80s kind of burned out on its own kindling.
Well, and the teenagers are more endearing this time around.
Oh yeah,
they were in the 80s or even the 90s.
Yeah, no, the sleepaway camp type. Apart from a lot of those kinds of movies, or The Burning, you get a lot of these ensembles where you recognize one character and everybody else is just cannon fodder. In this one, it really these says like, we're going to narrow the cast down, we're going to concentrate on these kids, and
Now, have you seen Under the Silver Lake, which is the other film? Because he hasn't really done much of anything, but
I actually haven't yet.
David Mitchell. I have heard it is very good. Matt Howell, friend of the podcast, recommended it to me. I haven't gotten a chance to watch it, but I think
Sharon did as well.
Yeah, because Sharon lives near Silver Lake too.
Yeah.
So,
but it'll be interesting to see where this fella goes next, because he hasn't done a whole heck of a lot of films. In fact, I think 2018 was the last time he had done a film, and we're now closing in on 2023. So hopefully we have another It Follows coming our way. It Follows Part 2, The Following.
Yeah, and here's the other thing is, I think it also goes to, I think some of the stellar casting. Micah Monroe recently showed up in The Watcher, which was one of my favorite films from this last year. Which was
right.
Where she's,
I didn't even connect those two.
She's the star.
She's the lead. And she's great. And I think that they're the annals of that go back to Jamie Lee Curtis and earlier, where you get these where you give a young actress a chance to be the lead,
right,
and make something of it. And they certainly did with It Follows.
All right.
Next up, number 31 jumps up 20 spots from last time.
All right,
it's the original Video Nasty, The Evil Dead.
Ooh, okay.
1981.
All right.
The original Evil Dead.
Right.
Yeah.
It's so funny that it's now considered to be a Video Nasty because it's so cartoonish now. I mean, it didn't have the
but
same.
It's nasty.
It is nasty.
It is. Yeah.
And it really puts all those characters through the ringer. And interestingly, like Evil Dead 2, same plot, same characters, but done with a Three Stooges kind of a bent to it.
Right.
Yeah. This one was forbidden fruit. Because you go to the video store and it had, because it had an X rating or something like that originally, didn't it? Or
no, I think it was. I think it was just,
probably PG.
Well, I think it was pre NC-17, but I think it had that, and I think it's now been fixed as an NC-17 rating.
Yeah. Just for the raw carnage.
Yeah.
And the savagery of what happens to all those poor. I mean, it is the ultimate cabin in the woodsy.
Oh yeah,
tale
for sure. I would encourage folks, if they haven't seen it yet, there's a great documentary on Shudder called "Hail to the Deadites," and it's sort of about like if you are sort of unfamiliar with the Evil Dead concept and Sam Raimi and what this all means. It's a great film about how there is this like obsessive cult-like following of Deadites out there who love, eat, and breathe all of these films.
Right. didn't.
What do you guys think of the remake?
Loved it.
Yeah,
I liked it too. It was darker.
Yeah.
Loved it. I thought it was incredible. I think
It was
it's
Fetty Alvarez, right?
Yeah.
Yep. Some of the
Yeah.
goriest scenes I've ever seen
Oh, the
in
tongue and the knife.
my
Yeah.
entire
Man, the
life.
tongue and the
Yeah.
knife.
Yeah.
I put this on one of my lists, and I can't even remember where it was or what episode we talked
Remakes?
about it, but might have been remakes. But yeah, it is a worthy challenger
Yeah.
to the
Yeah.
original.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, but it was a couple of twists.
Mm-hmm.
Very faithful adaptation.
Yep.
I
Yep.
think it was with
And
a lot of respect.
also great cast
Yeah.
Yep.
of the young actors, just like we were just talking about with Michael Monroe.
Right.
All right, number 30 on the list is a film that one Mike Campbell of the Scariest Things once called gray and mossy and green and dark and wet. It's my personal number one horror movie of all time.
Swamp Thing.
It's Mike Campbell's number 21 movie.
Is this The Ring?
It's No, it is The Ring, yeah.
Okay. Swamp Thing would have been awesome. Which actually had a good the DC Swamp Thing horror thing, pretty good. But we're not talking about that. We're talking about The Ring.
Well, Ian, you tell us why this is your number one film of all time.
Oh,
'cause-
I love a horror movie with ambiance, and you want to talk about dripping with ambiance.
Yeah,
I
oh,
mean,
yeah.
there's no better horror movie that puts you specifically in a dark and dreary place like
Yep.
this one. This is the Pacific Northwest personified.
Yeah.
And I love that it's very I hesitate to call it a period piece because that makes you think, it's in the 1600s. But,
Right.
But it's a VHS.
But with the VHS tape, right, you think, I know exactly when this took place because
That's
it's
right.
VHS, baby.
That's right. That's right.
And,
That's right.
And speaking of the video inside of the movie that they watch is just horrifying.
It is.
Well,
it absolutely is.
I think the biggest it's the conceit of the movie is it's gonna you've heard the rumors.
Yep.
It's like this is a dangerous thing to do, and people do it anyways.
That's right.
Right? It's like don't
I
watch
wouldn't
this.
be able to watch it.
Don't-
I don't have a VCR.
Yeah.
I'm safe.
Yeah. But
I'll live.
traditional media man Mike Campbell, of course, still has a VHS
I do.
connected up to his stereo system still.
Yeah.
So
It doesn't look all that great on 4K.
Yeah.
I will tell you that.
The whole idea, but I mean, it's kind of like, we just talked about The Evil Dead. Don't read the book. Don't put that VHS in the recorder. Only bad things can happen, and yet you do. And here comes Samara climbing through your television set to get you.
Oh yeah, that's something else. I mean, the reveal of what the ring is in the end, and you're like, oh,
Yeah.
it was, spoiler, the well.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and
I still think it has one of, in fact, I think we talked about this in episode 1 of the Scariest Things podcast. What are the scariest moments of all time? The horse getting ground up in the ferry, to me, was just such a shocker, and it was so dark and so horrifying that I put it on my top scariest moments of all time. But that, amongst all the other things we've talked about, really does, it sets that very dark, dreary tone for this film.
theater reactions.
Yeah.
Seeing this live with a big audience, when Samara crawls out of the television, had one of the best reactions I've ever been involved with. The audience screamed, and I kind of wanted to climb back. I felt myself actively trying to back away from the movie screen, like just pressing my back against it, wanting to like hop over the next row and just hide behind my seat. I mean, it was great. That was a moment, man.
All right. Moving on.
29. This also made the Scariest Things best sci-fi horror podcast
Ooh.
way back in episode 18.
Mm-hmm.
This is Reanimator, 1985.
Yes.
Hey now. Hey
Jeffrey
now.
Combs, good on you. And Barbara
Yeah,
Crampton.
Barbara
Yep.
Crampton having
Yep.
quite the comeback.
The Cramptonaissance.
Yes, the Cramptonaissance. That's what it's officially being called.
Yeah.
Yep.
Barbara Crampton was quite a find back at that time. and she's gotten better with age.
Still is.
She is
Yep.
fabulous. A really neat woman too.
Well, speaking of getting better with age, this one jumped up 29 spots from last time.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
And-
interesting. Now, Eric, was this on your list? Is Reanimator
I'm
on your
trying to-
list?
It was not.
I don't think so,
Not.
but it is
Okay.
one. I love the Reanimator. I
Yeah.
think. And just the kinds of clever things that they would do for the and you know that the head in the tray is there's a guy under the table with
Yeah.
but at the same time I love that look
It's still fun.
it's so much fun and
Yeah,
and
in-
Herbert
in
West
kinda-
is so weird.
In kind of the same way that Evil Dead 2 is like
Yes.
a really fun.
Yeah.
It's not. I wouldn't call it a horror comedy, but it's a sort of a fun,
It's-
sort of a lighter take on horror.
Yes, it's horror with comedy
Right,
injected
right.
into it, and
Rest in peace, Stuart Gordon.
Stuart Gordon, yeah, Reanimator. Good to see it on the moving up the list.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh,
Ooh. All right.
that
right.
must be a
That was
signal
the-
for the next movie.
Yeah.
That's right. That was
That's
the
the
Reanimator.
signal. I'm
that was,
playing the music.
That was the Reanimator.
Stop talking.
That sound effect heralds our number 28 movie, which made the Scariest Things top vampires episode
Ooh.
79. This is Let
Lost
the Right
Boys
One
Again.
In.
Great.
Oh, heck
Yes.
yeah.
Great film.
Yes.
Great film.
Yeah, boy, talk about some fun characters and the Oscar
Iconic moment.
Yeah.
The view from in the pool
Yeah.
of the feet. Oh,
Oh, and the
So
feet
good.
falling in the pool.
yeah.
Also a dreary film.
Cold, very,
Yeah.
very,
Very,
movie.
very dreary.
Very cold.
Denmark, Sweden,
Sweden.
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 All right.
This is
yeah.
this showed up, and I think when we talked about bullying too,
we talked.
and kid horror.
Yeah.
Kid horror. Yeah.
Okay.
I think
Yeah.
Roberta had this on her list potentially.
This is her
Okay.
favorite movie. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let the right one in.
So
Now
good.
I hadn't seen the film until we talked about vampires, and I felt compelled to go watch it, not under the control of a vampire, but I did it on my own accord, and I loved it. Great film.
It's still
Yep.
wonderful film.
It holds a lot of the familiar tropes, but you put the vampire in the body of a little girl
Yeah.
who actually is kind of a sweet. She's not an like an outright evil vampire. She has monstrous tendencies, but you root for her, and you root for Ellie and Oscar to have a happy life or
See?
undead
Yeah.
life.
I think that's a little too early to get bit.
Yeah.
I think I'd want to be bit when I'm a teenager, like the Lost Boys.
Oh yeah, no, I want to be bit when I'm 23. Right? It's like, all right.
Yeah, I think I'd say like 25.
I was like, if
Now,
I got,
Liz is our TV expert. Have you watched the new TV series "Let the Right One In" on Showtime?
No, I didn't even know it existed.
Yeah.
So I guess I will have to check it out.
All right.
well,
All right.
and there was.
I
the
don't know
American-
though. There's already an American remake
Let
of the
me
movie
in.
that
Yeah.
Now
wasn't
there's
good.
a TV series.
Yeah, I think
Okay.
they let the right. Well, they could have left Let the Right One In alone. They didn't need the. Oh, they
Let-
will try. I know they're going to do it with Goodnight Mommy. They're going to try and reboot that. It's like don't.
That's
Yeah.
that's the sequel. Let the Right One.
It's
Alone.
already
All right. Number 27 is Mike Campbell's number 25 movie.
Oh, I know.
Almost perfectly in line. Mike knows what it is.
I do. I think I do.
Well,
I'm gonna say I do.
Let's hear it.
Return of
The
Living
Living
Dead.
Dead.
Yeah, here's a horror comedy for you.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh God, so many of the great. Just
Well,
now.
I went
never
back
seen it.
using the Eric. The
Liz
Eric-
has not seen this yet.
what?
I don't think so.
Oh my God, Liz, you got to watch this. No, I use
All
the
right.
the Eric Lee criteria, which is
right,
do you
onto
know
the
the
list.
do you know all the beats of the film? And like I think out of all of the films on my top 25 list, this is probably the one I know the most beats from.
Yeah. Well, and it's got some of the.
So I don't need to watch it. You can just recite it to me.
Yeah.
Reenact it.
Okay, so Linnea Quigley is on a gravestone, right?
Yeah.
She takes her top off.
Yes, she is. Yes,
Linnea Quigley famous for taking her top off.
without
But this
clothes
one-
for a good portion of the film.
Yep. And the half dog
Mm-hmm.
and the vat of toxic the waste and the exposition on the tiebacks to Romero.
Now,
it's so funny.
Remind me, Mike, because you'll know the answer to this.
Yeah.
Is this the film that popularized zombies saying "brains"?
Well, yeah, it is. It absolutely is. Yeah, we're at the towards the end of the film where the
What do they call that?
send more cops.
Yeah. But the ghoul who is the one with all the flesh falling off of him,
Right.
he's got a name.
The Tar Man.
The Tar Man. Okay.
The Tar Man, yeah, and it also it spoke not just to a zombie film and a horror comedy, but it also had this great sort of like this undercurrent, this punk rock ethos that was like almost calibrated more to Repo Man than it did a horror film,
absolutely.
which was sort of amazing in and of itself. And they took the whole horror genre and they just turned it completely on its head.
Yeah, I mean, this is the kind of a movie that I think Troma had often shot for, trying to get this kind of thing done. They just didn't. But the acting here was a notch up, and the the sheer fun value. It was all connected so well.
Well, and it also had a person who played an integral role in Alien, Dan O'Bannon was he directed this, so that's. That was a huge piece of why this was actually a professional production.
A real screenwriter.
Yeah.
All right, next up on the list, number 26, jumps up 7 spots. Robert Eggers, The Witch. 2015.
Okay.
Ooh.
Now,
There's another one of the seminal 2000 movies.
yeah, this was number 4 on my list.
Number 4.
Number
Wow.
4. Well,
Eric?
again,
This came off my list.
oh, did it?
But it was.
I had
so
it on
felt-
my previous one.
Well, why did it come off, Liz?
I don't know what I sacrificed it for. Probably St. Maud.
Oh, okay.
Probably
That would do
St.
it.
Maud.
Yeah. Just.
I do love this film, though.
Blood sacrifice, though.
I think it
Yeah.
was the introduction of a director who has a certain way of doing a period piece movie. In ye olde English with natural lighting and no soundtrack and just
Black goats.
and a scary ass goat. Yes. And
And Anya
Black
Taylor-Joy.
Phillip.
Anya Taylor-Joy's first movie.
Was it her first?
Yeah.
Oh, she's so good.
She is so good. Well, yeah, now she is
She's the queen
the-
and
yeah.
takes gambits.
the girl of
Yeah.
the moment. Certainly.
Now, Ian, I would have put this on my top 25 list, save for the ending. I hate the ending.
No.
I know that's a point of discussion amongst a lot of people, but I think the first 90% of the film is pure brilliance.
You know, when I heard your reaction to the ending, I thought it was interesting because I interpreted the ending in a completely different way.
Oh, did you?
In
Oh,
that
interesting.
in
Okay.
that it was not it was a non-literal ending. I
Oh.
didn't think she was actually. I think that was her kind of breaking and
Oh.
going a little insane. You know,
Ooh. Oh,
that's how I
okay,
interpreted it,
okay.
and not until I heard your reaction
I
did
like
I
that.
think,
I like that.
oh, maybe it was meant to be literally her
Because
going
that was
and
the
seeing witches.
biggest problem with the movie. It's
I'm going to
probably
go back
60
and rewatch it
seconds long.
with that through that prism.
Yeah,
Agreed. I like that idea.
Because and for me the break, I'll just
Yeah.
briefly go into it. For me the break is when near the very end when she starts hearing the
Sure.
goat talk to her. I'm
Right.
like, surely she's just going crazy now.
Right.
After the goat has totally gored her dad and
Right,
everyone's
right.
dead.
Right.
I think she's totally gotten broken and she's just gone crazy.
I like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it
I liked it.
it has the famous moment of playing peekaboo with the baby.
Yeah.
Baby's here. Baby's not here.
Yeah.
Whoa! What happened
Baby
to the baby?
gone. Yeah.
Which was the and that's not a spoiler because that is the premise of
You can see that in the
suspicion
trailer.
of the witch. Yeah,
That's in the trailer.
great film.
All right. Another recent one coming up. It's our number 25 movie, and last time it was our number 25 movie.
Ooh.
One Eric Lee of The Scariest Things called this movie a powerhouse.
Ooh.
It's the rare film that made 2 host lists. It's Eric's number 5 and Liz's number 11. It's Hereditary.
Oh, there you go.
No, it is
Oh,
no
yeah.
doubt about it.
So good.
Yeah, this is
so
the movie.
good.
Well, of course,
Yep. Everybody knows we met at Hereditary.
yes, yep.
Yep.
Because we were running out of seats and
Yep.
And Liz goes, "You saving those seats?" Like, nope, go ahead and take it.
Nope.
And
I'm taking it.
And Hereditary.
And then Hereditary. And then
Yep. And we
then-
looked at each other during, oh shit. Yeah.
that one, we had just
podcast.
We had just met, and then when Charlie meets the telephone pole, it was
Yep.
nobody knew that was coming. Everybody thought
No one knew that was
everybody
coming.
thought that she was going to be like the Damien evil devil kid, and nope, she was the victim. And holy
The
smokes,
whole theater.
yeah, that
Oh,
was like,
shit.
and it was like you could hear people just murmuring after that because you're left.
Like,
in
what's the
car.
movie about now? She was the main character.
Right.
Now what's going to happen? And it was like, is it going to be a ghost thing? Is it going to be what is it? Such
Whew.
movie craft shown by a first time director, and Toni Collette
Yeah.
acting her ass off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Still got
You know-
robbed.
I hadn't seen this since it first came out, and I went and rewatched it just recently, and it almost made my top 25 list, but I had kind of like buttoned up my list.
Mm-hmm.
It was very, very close. Very, very close. Because
so
I
good.
think it's actually a lot more scary the second time around, not because you're looking at all the detail and, seeing all the twists and turns, just because I think some of the shocking scenes are way more shocking. I actually think I suppressed how shocking they really were.
Yeah, it
Right.
in the theater it was a little overwhelming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To-
You were completely overwhelmed.
to be sure, and particularly the last 15 minutes.
Yep.
And you're trying to process what exactly is going on, and then the revelations start hitting you, and you're trying to piece together the new information that you're given, and then by the time you're done, you felt like you've been put through.
And poor Gabriel Byrne. Poor Gabriel
You
Byrne.
totally
Yeah.
All right, moving on.
All right, number 24 was number 12, drops 12 spots.
Oh wow.
But consolation prize, it did win 5 Oscars.
Okay. This can only
okay, I
be
know
one
what it
movie
is
then.
then.
This is Silence of the Lambs.
It's The Silence of the
Oh,
Lambs.
heck yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Liz, this is really high up your list, yeah?
Yes, it is number 7
Oh, there you go. Okay.
or 6. I love this movie. I can remember the first time I saw it. It was Halloween night. I stayed home to hand out candy when I was, I don't know, whatever grade. This movie scared me to death. Anthony Hopkins is perfect. That scene where he's in his, weird prison cage and the security guard with the face, and when you realize what has happened, I was like, oh my gosh. Yeah. And then it wins Best Picture. Yes.
Well,
yes.
But Best Director, Best Actress, Best Actor, Best Original Screenplay. I think. And it hit all
big
And
five.
I put them on my
And
Clarice Starling and Hannibal Lecter, just that version, not the other ones.
Right.
Once
Yeah.
Jodie Foster was no longer playing Clarice.
And
So
it
good together.
but has George Romero and Roger Corman in the film.
yeah,
They really?
George
yeah,
Romero.
Oh, really?
And George Romero is uncredited,
Right.
but he when they're in the sort of the weird makeshift prison in the courthouse, and the FBI kind of bursts in. He's one of the agents.
Right.
Oh.
And Roger Corman is a
so is
senator.
Harry Connick Jr.
No, Roger Corman is like the director of the FBI.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
But
Wait,
he
not
gave,
Harry Connick Jr.
He gave.
Chris Isaac. Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Chris
yeah.
Isaac.
Chris Isaac. Yeah. So it is.
Handsome singer. Yeah.
It is. Yeah, it is cram packed with lots of fun and interesting little cameos. But
Well-
the George Romero one absolutely floored me. And when I saw it recently,
That's crazy. I didn't even notice that.
I saw it within the last 6 months, and I was like, oh my God, I'm seeing that's George Romero. And then I looked it up, and sure enough, it was George Romero as in uncredited in Silence of the Lambs.
Well, Corman gave Demi his start.
Yeah.
In
Yep.
I think Caged Heat or something like that. He did
Yeah.
women in prison movies
Yeah.
from the get go. Of course, it's Corman. So right.
All right, moving on.
All right,
Oh,
number
Silence of the Lambs,
23.
perfect movie.
Oh, it is.
Yes.
It's amazing.
Yep.
23 is an
Yeah.
all-time classic. It's number 3 on Liz Williams' list.
Ooh.
It's Poltergeist.
Yeah.
Yes.
Heck yeah.
I'm getting a sense that the mayor's seat is going to have a gender swap here. It's,
I am now going to be the mayor.
Yeah.
I have a feeling-
Poltergeist. I remember seeing Poltergeist. I was in second grade. I was at my friend Megan Libby's house. They had HBO, and we watched it, not knowing what it was. And probably her mom was like, "It's PG. How bad could it be?" Oh my gosh, Poltergeist, and even Poltergeist 2. I was scared of trees, pools, to get braces,
Mirrors.
clowns, like the closet,
Yeah.
the television. That is it's terrifying.
Yep.
Boy, that's a good
I
point.
love it, and it holds up.
You switched the gravestones,
Yeah.
but you
But
didn't move the bodies.
You know, is
Yeah.
there another horror movie that better makes scary just ordinary objects than Poltergeist? Now that you
Ooh.
mention all that, Liz, I'm
Great
like,
question.
it really does take kind of the suburban setting and make it genuinely
Yeah.
frightening.
No, this is the ultimate suburban.
You're literally
horror
in a
movie.
model home in the suburbs and a
Yeah.
planned community, and you are not safe. Oh my God, it's terrifying.
Yeah,
And it holds up. I mean,
And-
it looks like it's made in the 80s, but it is still scary.
And that
And the
1980s
performances
house
are
is still
great.
standing, and you can go get your picture taken in front of it. In fact, in the Shudder original series, Cursed Films, they talked.
Films.
Yeah, they talked to the people who own the house, and the number of people that drive by every single day to get their photo snapped in front of the house.
Is it?
I mean,
is it
I
in
would
the-
do it.
Is it in the San Fernando Valley or where?
It's somewhere, somewhere down there. Yeah,
Sharon, if you're listening, and I'm assuming you are, get ready. We're gonna have to do a road trip, and you're gonna have to
Road
take
trip.
Poltergeist.
Yeah.
right Poltergeist
Poltergeist
road
house.
trip. Yeah.
All right.
All right. Number 22 jumps up 13 spots from last time.
Okay.
It's a film that Eric Lee of The Scariest Things once said satisfies all your horror impulses and all of your comedy impulses.
Shaun of the Dead.
Shaun of the Dead.
All
Hey.
right.
Heck yeah!
Nice.
This was
Heck
on my
yeah.
list the last time. I'm not sure if it was on my
Got
list. this
got
time.
bounced. Uh
I scrubbed a lot of
Uh-oh.
horror comedies from my
It's
list.
not on this time.
Yeah.
No.
oh. Okay.
No, but it is this. I'll be surprised if we see a higher rated horror comedy. Shaun of the Dead.
You might.
Okay.
You might just.
Ooh.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
Well, it's young
Uh-oh.
Frankenstein's
It's
still
coming.
out there, but I don't know. It's gonna.
It's coming.
We'll see. We'll see. Yeah, because that's Shaun of the Dead, man. Funny movie, and we talked about this one a bunch.
Yeah.
But this really was the Edgar Wright coming out party.
Yeah.
Mhm,
It's the
mhm.
film that put throwing records on the map.
That's right. That's right.
You're
Yeah.
not that one. Yeah, and so very very British proper,
Yeah.
right?
Oh, yeah.
God, so good.
Yeah, pure
get a bit
perfection, great soundtrack, and again, I mean, it was prior to the sort of obsession with zombies, but you know, it was sort of on the front end, I guess,
Yep.
of the obsession with zombies. But yeah, this film still holds something else.
Yeah, and Don't Stop Me Now at the Winchester.
Yeah,
Oh, it was great, and even just the casual interactions and the awkwardness of British working class society and the parents who are the stuffy and is it Roger? Is that the dad who's
the
who's got
stepdad.
the stepdad who's
yeah,
been
yeah.
it's, those were it's a perfect horror comedy.
Yep. All right, our last
Right.
film of the night.
Number 21 is a horror film that has a lead actor with the unfortunate name of Kill Ian.
Boo.
That's Cillian Murphy
Oh,
in
here it is.
Oh.
28 Days.
There
There it is.
Yep.
And a lot. This is the zombie episode. This is like
Yeah.
a lot of
Yeah.
zombies.
Lots
Train,
of zombies.
Train to Busan,
yeah.
Return of the Living Dead, Shaun of the Dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
28 Days later.
Now this one I know was on my
Reanimator,
list.
yeah.
It used to be my number 2.
Now it's your
Uh-huh.
number 8.
Yeah. 'Cause,
Okay.
But to the point that Mike was making earlier, I think some of the criteria when I was shuffling my own list was, do I know every beat of the movie, every little tick, every actor, and all those familiarity things, and for me there were just a few more movies that were more than 28 Days Later, but this movie for raw emotional impact Love this movie, and the fact of actually that they managed to shoot a deserted London,
Right.
Yes.
and it just by timing, right? And the opening sequence was, I don't think that The Walking Dead John Kirkman denies actually stealing from
Stealing
28
it.
Days Later, but that opening sequence is just, it's like, hello. And
I mean,
then
the timing is suspicious. The Walking Dead 2003, this one 2002.
yeah, they're right there with each other, and it's that they hired a bunch of footballers to play the zombies,
Right,
to
right.
give them real speed,
Right.
when they're running, when all of a sudden because they're not dead yet, they're infected, but it's essentially a zombie.
Which
movie.
football club did they?
Probably
Putnam SC.
Chelsea, probably. It's like, what is it?
Chutney Northwest.
They're paid.
Is it a north side, or a south side?
They're paid too much, I think, too.
Right. Maybe Crystal Palace, maybe.
Right.
I don't know.
Aston Villa.
I loved the each of the characters that goes on the journey. You're rooting for all of them, and it's just, and this is when I talk of movies where you care about what happens to the characters. This is the movie that I like to point out. Yeah, I love 28 Days Later. So,
Zombies. Go see zombie films. They're not dead yet.
Yeah, well. we may have a lull. These things go in cycles.
Yeah. We're bringing it back. Scariest
right.
Things are bringing back zombies. Clearly, this list says zombies.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Coming up, zombies.
All right. So we're going to be left with the toppermost of the poppermost coming up.
That doesn't sound very scary.
No, the bottom of the graveyard, the top of the graveyard.
Yes.
The top quintile.
Yeah, or the ninth gate of hell, whatever you want to call it. Okay,
Coming up.
That's what we got. We got numbers 20 to 1. 20 to 1. The top 20. Last will be our last episode of this run. So stick with us. You're gonna want to catch it.